NYGs, I'm making diamonds out of pressure. My pipes are intact. Don't believe me? Ask your boy in the back to the track. These recordings be important and responsible for drama like Sarah Palin, Joe Biden, McCain, and Obama.
Man, listen, we be on a life or death mission. Get paid like tuition or caged up in prison. One time for your mind, two ghetto politicians. 3 for all my niggas locked down in the system. Man, listen, we be on a life or death mission. Get paid like tuition or caged up in prison. One time for your mind, two ghetto politicians. 3 for all my niggas locked down in the system.
NYG.
They said New York fell off. Who bringing New York back? I'm like, where we went? What part the game is that? We've been here the whole time, anxiously waiting. And the streets paper chase, supreme testing our patience. Now stop the presses. Listen up, this is not a lecture. More like a message with a flow that's as hot as peppers. Pop the only way you can stop this villain. I'm sick with it, couldn't with amoxicillin. I've been the illest since Ill Kid, Operation Red. Though I never contemplated that. Then that's a wrap. Turn your pages to 03. Chapter NYG's. Pants is my code D. No iron team, homie. Picture me solo. See what happened to Tony? What he did to Manolo. Here go that New York Giant. Back on it again. Seen with Wolverines and they wasn't from Michigan. Y'all listening. Y'all can hear a lyrical street. Narcotics, raw dens. Rap don't work, find us in Tennessee. Looking for bucks, and if they still tend to
NYG.
We appeal to those that feel.
Practice freedom of speech and refuse to hold back. Hey, what you say?
NYG.
We appeal to those that feel.
Practice freedom of speech and refuse to hold back. Hey, what you say?
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with my esteemed colleagues, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Indiana Pacers against the Boston Celtics. Taking a look at the Celtics, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. Pacers had a year they can write off last year, but this year, they'll be expected to go deep in the playoffs once again. Kenny, is that asking too much of this team a year after really missing out and just being decimated by injury?
I mean, having Paul George is a huge difference maker, but I think that's too much to ask this team to be jumped back into the conference finals right after that. I think
even in the East?
Even in the East.
At the power forward position, at 6 foot 9 inches, number 5, starting.
It's the Pacers in Indianapolis as we bring you an Eastern Conference contest. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to this broadcast of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan to call the game with our analysts Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Jared Sullinger is out there with Johnson. And it's Crowder in at the 3. Here's Mahimi.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
For your Pacers, Jan Mahimi.
The first free throw is good. No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2. The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be ahead of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Thomas with the ball. He's picked up by Hill. That's good.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
On defense, Boston.
And with the Celtics being a surprise threat near the end of last season, even their losses were close games.
Ellis with it. Outside Hill. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Hill's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Back up your point about the Celtics being in close games. I mean, their point differential on the year was less than where you would expect it to be for a team that made the playoffs. I mean, it really gives you an idea of how many close games they played.
And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. That's good.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
On defense, Boston. And George kicks to Hill. Pass to Allen. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And, of course, we'd all like to see his percentage at the line improve, but he just does not have the touch right now. He's in the 60s.
I think it's been a struggle for him at the line. He's been scuffling this season. I mean, he's pretty well below the percentage that he shot a season ago, and not quite sure why. He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and, Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
And George kicks to Allen on the wing. Hill from deep. They get it back. Mahinmi dishes to Ellis. Outside for George. Outside Hill. And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. That's good for George on the assist by Hill. George has got his first points in this one.
And guys, we've seen teams hire college coaches with no NBA experience before. It hasn't always worked out, but for Boston, they have to be very pleased with Brad Stevens.
Now here is Hill. Now the feed to Ellis. Hill passes to Mahinmi. Ellis goes in. Got a piece of it. Here we go, one-on-one. Here's Thomas. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. Thomas got his second basket. Indiana's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Ellis kicks to Mahinmi. Looking for George. He gets it there. Gets an open look and hits. George has got his second basket of the night.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
And the shot is good.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, boy, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Johnson with the block. They get it back. There's Ellis with the 3-ball, and Boston with the rebound. Bradley dishes to Crowder. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. And they're moving it up. Ahead, here's George. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, and Paul George played the first few years of his career in the NBA with 24 on his back. And as you can see, he now goes with 13 after making the switch prior to last year.
And with Paul George going with the number 13 now, as you can see, helps with his nickname, PG-13.
Yeah, that's a good nickname, a nice fit. Young Tracy, as he likes to go by on Twitter, he said himself that it was about embracing his stature and stardom in the league. Nice way to do it. How sweet was that? Thomas has terrific form.
For Indiana, they've gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. And that one's good. George.
3 of 4 to start.
Oh,
young fella came to play.
Celtics trail by 5. Here's Jerebko. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Really nice dime drop in there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Lawson kicks to Turner. Outside for Lawson. Olynyk with the steal. And Turner with a clear path to the rack. And it's sent back by George. Lawson the pass to Stuckey. And George, here we go. Hill has the open look. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
Oh, that's got to be deflating and disappointing to miss a wide-open shot like that right in your wheelhouse. So that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
And Indiana making a change here. Miles is checked in. Stuckey dishes to Lawson. .104 left here in the first quarter. On the wing, Hill. Shot clock at 6. Now the dish to Stuckey. Lawson outside. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
That's excellent defense right there on the perimeter.
That's good from Thomas on the assist from Smart. 10 points for Isaiah Thomas.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
Up again, and the dunk by Olynyk.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible. You know, fought hard from start to finish on that play. Defended the shot and then finished it off with the rebound.
Lawson kicks to Hill. Again missing Hill. Shoots from the high post. Thomas, that's good. Thomas got 12.
Obviously a mix-up defensively on that possession.
And now, let's hear it for your East
Hey, talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do. And Monte Ellis is still trying to prove people wrong now in Dallas after their quick exit from the playoffs a season ago. Clark, it's been a decade in the league now for this very talented guard.
And you know, that kind of relentless determination is really something Monte is known for, and one of the reasons he has been around for 10 years in the NBA as a consistently good player and lethal scorer.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says thank you very much and sails in for the flush.
And those are the kind of sequences that tell you why the score is what it is.
Special thanks to Kia for that sweet Kia Slam Cam replay.
You know, one of the things, guys, that impressed me about the Celtics was the number of assists they had. I mean, they really focused on moving the ball. And when you do that and you have shot makers, the assists pile up.
Crowder, and again, Boston with the triple.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
Finished off the break. Now it's a 7-point Boston lead. Hey, guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for Boston.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
Something else they've done right so far from the get-go tonight is run. I mean, so much of their offense has come off the fast break.
And the whistle blows, and it's going to be an over-the-back call here.
And that's an aggressive play to try to get the rebound. Just a little too aggressive.
And unnecessary. That's over the top. That's doing too much, Greg. He wasn't in good position there, and he was never going to get the ball. He just wasted a foul.
Allen's checked in for Indiana. Paul George comes in for C.J. Miles.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter.
Here's Turner. That's in for the first basket of the game after 3 attempts.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
And there's the foul. It goes on Evan Turner. That's his first foul. quarter two and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. And George, here we go. Count that one. George has got 11 points.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need him. And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball.
He's 4 for 6 from the field with that miss.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Johnson wide open. He fires. Again, Johnson missing. For George to be eager to go back and represent the U.S. in international play is a brave move.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, a lot of it might be that he just wants to put that in the past and move on. And sometimes you do that best by confronting things head on. The only way to have that be the past is to keep playing for his country. Tell you what, Monte Ellis is one of the best second-round draft picks of all time in the league, not just the last decade. I mean, this guy was a 5-star recruit out of high school, committed to college, but changed his mind and entered the draft, where the Warriors stole him with the 40th pick in 2005.
Outside Hill. No good. That would have tied it. Getting back to Monte Ellis. Had he gone to college for even 1 year, I think he would have probably been a top 10 pick. But you look at what he's brought to the table over his career. Points and assists, rebounds, steals, playmaking. His production has been astounding.
You know, he's one of those unsung players. He never gets voted to the All-Star game. It never gets spoken about as one of the top guards in this league. But you look at the body of work and you ask his competitors throughout this league, and they're going to tell you that guy's as tough as they get.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
The Celtics have gone 5 of 8 from the floor here in the second quarter. Over 60% shooting. Expanding his range, but they'll get another chance. Bradley, no one around him. Boston again missing.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch, and the game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
Kicks to Hill. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. Lawson's got 3 assists tonight.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
There's a whistle, and it goes on Isaiah Thomas. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Boy, with 2 fouls now, he really has to be disciplined and under control for the rest of this half.
Turner's checked in for Indiana. And George kicks to Stuckey. Lawson in the corner, the 3. Here's Turner, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket.
Very nice pickup of the offensive rebound, and once he gets his hands on it, you know it's going back up and back in.
The Indiana Pacers had a solid season last year, given they were without their star for most of it. They played well at home.
Yeah, even without Paul George, they were in contention. How about 23-18 at home, which is really a solid mark when you consider they didn't have their 2 best players from a season ago.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
You know, for the Pacers in their 23-18 home record, that was better than several teams that made the playoffs in the East. They were very tough at home at the defensive end of the floor.
C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Indiana. And then for Boston. Crowder comes in for Smart. And it's Rozier in for Isaiah Thomas. 1:06 left in the second quarter.
And the Pacers were third in the league in field goal percentage against at home. Something about this crowd really drives the Pacers on the defensive end, even in a down year.
On its way from Stuckey for two. Bradley with some nice D.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Crowder the pass to Bradley. And stolen by Stuckey. And here they come. And he jams it with authority.
Well, that's why they're on the lead. Aggressive play at both ends. Very nicely done there.
Absolutely. They make the steal, pay dividends instantly on the fast break.
And it's off the back rim. No good.
A little ambitious on that possession, trying to hit a shot in the face of that defensive pressure.
The finish. Now that's how to finish the break. Throw down with force.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
What a passing display he has put on here tonight.
Yeah, he's spoiling us, Greg. I mean, there's just another fantastic dime drop right there. That one certainly should make the highlight reel.
Just 4 seconds left to play here in the half. Got it up. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And
Kevin, thank.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. Paul George taking care of business in this one. He had 13 points, 2 block shots, and 1 steal. Some great work from him in the first 2 quarters. And Kenny, what'd you think about what we saw from Indiana?
They're playing with a sense of urgency, even though they're at home. Sometimes you feel so comfortable on your home court, the other team can jump on you. But they know these fans have their back, and now they're well positioned to build a lead in the second half.
And Shag, what are your thoughts on Boston?
The big positive, I think, their points in the paint. They were determined to work the ball inside of Ernie. It works. It's always worked. I got 4 rings. I know it works for a fact. That's why they call me Dr. O'Neal, because I'm a master at being dominant on the inside. Anyway, you got to keep that going, because that will continue to open things up for them on the perimeter.
All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time for the start of the third quarter.
Well, both sides of a Just what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. You look at Paul George in this game, guys, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, the effort and intensity from a defensive standpoint has just really been superb, really firing up his team.
Guys, I love his activity, patrolling the court, blocking shot after shot out there. He's really made a statement at the defensive end.
That'll be a 5-second call. Celtics trail by 5. Second half underway. Here's who Brad Stevens got on the floor. Thomas is the point with Bradley into his side. Amir Johnson is out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Sullinger in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And for the Pacers, they're shooting an efficient 53% from the field. Well, taking a look at Avery Bradley, his career's been kind of up and down. Drake started out in high school where he developed into one of the nation's top prospects in high school.
You know, it's a great point. And as a college freshman, really established himself as one of the top defensive guards in the country, won numerous awards, then enters the draft after only 1 year.
Hill kicks to Allen. Crowder with the steal. To the inside. It's stolen by Allen. And now Ellis running the floor all by himself.
Yeah, the drive to the bucket was great, but the finger roll was even better.
Celtics trail by 5. Johnson, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
Ellis dishes to Allen. And George kicks to Hill. 5 on the clock. Indiana needs to get a shot off. George with no one around. Good. The assist goes to Hill. George has got the lead up to 5 now for Indiana. Here's Bradley. The three-pointer, no good.
Yeah, but they're 3 of 4 to start the second half.
For Indiana, they've gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. Mahimi down low. Sellinger's there. Hill has the open look. Off target from three-point range.
This shot's just, it's not there right now with this team leading. Perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
Here's Crowder. Off target from outside. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Amir Johnson. That'll be his second foul of the game. And some changes here for the Celtics. Turner comes in for Crowder, and Smart subbed in for Bradley. And watching Jay Crowder, he can really beast you up, Greg, and take you out of your game. One of the most physical wings, I think, in the NBA.
And not the most flexible athlete, but he makes up for that with that strength that you mentioned. It allows him to control the pace. I mean, he's a bumper and a grinder and hitting a big three out of nowhere. So he's what we call a true gamer.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. Pacers leading by 5. Pass to Mahimi. Stolen by Smart. And now with the fast break, Smart with the... Oh, wow. It's a beautiful jam.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play. And here we go with George. Nobody back. Throws down the breakaway jam.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with the dunk like that.
Thomas against Hill. And it's Johnson penetrating. And it's sent back by George. No one near Turner as he lets it go. That's in there. Johnson with the assist.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
The Pacers have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. Ellis. The rebound by Johnson.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Stolen by Ellis. And even 3-on-3 break. Here's George. Takes it off the glass. George has got 6 points in the quarter.
Pedal to the metal right now, really pushing it.
And 3 of their last 5 makes here coming in transition.
And watching Amir Johnson Clark, he seems so casual about silently destroying opponents in the paint. And he's carried that air about him almost his entire career.
You know what? He's rarely had plays called for him, Kevin. He doesn't produce a bunch of highlights, but he's really potent. I mean, one of the league's best at defending opponents at the rim, grabbing in-traffic rebounds. Those both are valuable assets.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Turner's checked in for Mahimi. Solomon Hill comes in for Allen. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for George. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for Ellis.
And talking about Amir Johnson, he's really the last of a discontinued model, if you will. When the Pistons called his name in the 2005 NBA draft, the year before the rookie age limit was put in place, he became the last 18-year-old drafted into our league. And it did take him a number of years to kind of get up to the pro speed.
Guys, did you know not once in Johnson's 10 seasons has he averaged more than 11 points or 7.5 rebounds a game? Sometimes he doesn't even start. And yet, there's a certain sect of followers who feel Amir Johnson is among the most valuable, efficient players in the league.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. The strategy included running the offense through Thomas. Coach has a lot of faith in him offensively and let his players know it, insisting that he be at the forefront of what they do at that end of the court from here on out. Those could prove to be crucial changes to their strategy with this game getting ready to enter the stretch drive, Kevin.
And thanks for that story, Doris.
You might not think of him as a laser three-point shooter, but that shot was there for him, and he had to take it.
Takes the 13-footer, hits the front of the rim, and out.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Outside for Lawson. Some nice passing here by Indiana. And here's Hill for three. Back to Lawson. And the wide open shot from Stuckey. No good. Not a friendly rim at all. This trip down. Inside. It's deflected. It's stolen by Hill. And here we go. Fast break. Turner's got it. And a strong finish with two hands.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case. It looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant. And this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
And the basket good.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
And here is Olynyk. He kicks to Smart. 6 on the shot clock. They get it again. Turner. Nice teamwork to set up the pick play and make the space for the J.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
On the wing, Hill shoots. That one falls. Coming off Lawson's feet. Hill's got the lead up to 9 now for Indiana. Turner with the steal. Just 3 on the clock. The shot is off. And that does it for the... And now, let's do it. We go. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. Indiana leading by 9. Paul George is out there with C.J. Miles. Then it's Ellis. Then it's George Hill. And it's Mahimi in at the 5. So that's the group out there for Indiana. The Celtics shooting one of the high points for them in this game at 54%. Here's Bradley. The three-pointer off the mark. And we have an intentional foul there, GA. Wish I could say why.
That one's pretty strange. I mean, no idea what got into his head right there.
Lavoy Allen's checked in for C.J. Miles. Now, here is George. On the wing, Hill for the 3. That's good. Hill's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Pacers.
Yeah, that's not the way for a team to get back into a game, giving up open shots like that.
The shot by Turner, no good. Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Hangs in the air, and the layup by George. George has got 21.
Uh-oh, a little showboating at the end of that one.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Amir Johnson. And that'll be his third foul so far. Just over a minute played here in the fourth. For 3, Hill. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got his third assist on the night. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Pacers.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
Yeah, also, they haven't missed a beat in terms of their fast break game. That's been equally as effective all night long.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. Paul George really making a difference here.
He's on fire. They needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hands.
Thomas checked in for Turner. Celtics trail by 17. And Thomas, here we go. Battles through traffic and lays it in.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air. He's still looking for his first three-pointer of the second half after making just one in the first.
And yes, sir, that one drops.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. And that was something the Celtics needed, adding Thomas, a player that could come in and provide Clark instant offense for them off the bench.
And, Kevin, I think that was a turning point for them last year. I mean, they saw that they had a chance to make a big leap forward after the trade and responded accordingly.
Find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He told the players, let's put our foot on them and keep them down. We've got them exactly where we want them. I want to see you guys slow the pace, use the clock, and stay away from any silly fouls.
Here's your Repco. No good. Excellent D there from George. Pacers leading by 13. Outside Hill. From deep three-point range. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got 3 assists in the game. The Celtics have gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. And the basket by Johnson.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Just under 2.5 minutes gone here in the final quarter. Now George. Takes a 3. And the Pacers another 3.
Their third three-pointer in a row.
Adjustment time for these guys. The defense has to make some adjustment here. Grown man power flush with the long hang on the rim at the end of it.
Clark, that could be a catalyst for him.
I think you're right.
And we've seen those kinds of plays get them fired up in the past.
Bradley against Hill. There's the pick. Clock at 6. Outside, George. And the Pacers another 3.
Out of their last 5 makes, how about all 5 from long range?
Well, the defense just hasn't pressed up to deny any of those looks, guys. I mean, they're hanging back and getting picked apart. Certainly that shot well within his range.
I would hope so.
And especially when he caps it off with the steady one-hand jam.
Outside Hill. Let's go. Offensive rebound. Mahimi's shot is good. And the Pacers lead by 18.
He just punishes you on the backboard. I mean, it's pretty deflating for a team trailing big and still giving up second chance opportunities.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
And that's just another mistake. I mean, they've got it on autopilot, and they look totally dejected.
And Indiana making a change here. Turner's checked in, and the Celtics also making a change. Jared Sullinger's checked in for your Rebco. Johnson, the pass to Bradley. From 17 feet out. Basket is good. The assist from Johnson. Johnson's got his 3rd assist on the night. Indiana leading by 16. For 3, Hill. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Hill.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
The Celtics have gone 6 of 9 on their field goal attempts since the start of the fourth quarter. Pacers have got more than 58% of their attempts to go down for them in the fourth quarter. They're 7 of 12. From past the arc. A rebound by the Celtics.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for the Pacers.
And it may be a comfortable win for him, Steve, and in the end, but they had to weather a few storms along the way, Clark, and that's all part of the story.
That's right, Kevin. I mean, this was by no means a runaway that it might appear to have been. I mean, it was a scrappy performance all the way through.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Paul George. And with the way he came out energized on the defensive end in particular, getting a hand on a lot of shots, that really got them rolling.
Thomas kicks to Bradley, and foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two. That's on Monte Ellis.
Terrific game for Bradley. 13 points, and he's put one three-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Hill, he's checked in for Turner. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. And it's Lawson in for Hill. And then for Boston, Olenek, he's checked in for Johnson. Urebko comes in for Jay Crowder. And Marcus Smart is subbed in for Isaiah Thomas. Rozier, he's checked in for Bradley. Stripped it away. Inside, here's Rozier. Allen with the rebound. They are enjoying the commanding lead.
And it really gives them the opportunity to give their starters a rest. Always critical when you get ready for that home stretch. And they feel good about this win tonight, guys, defending their home court.
I agree. Job well done. They gave these fans exactly what they wanted.
That's his first personal foul.
On its way from Stuckey for two. They get the rebound. Feeds it to Hill. From deep. Got a piece of it. Up the floor. Here's Olenek. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. They poured it on tonight, Clark. A dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
Guys called
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Let's quickly move forward now to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George. He had just an outstanding fourth-quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him, and down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. Wow. I'm getting jealous, and he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became unstoppable, man.
Well, Paul George showing us again tonight why he is one of the premier wing players in the NBA. We know that defensively he's always going to do the job, but he's just as valuable on the other end, scoring off the catch or the dribble.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.